In this video, we will address the topics of supply, demand, and equilibrium. We will show how these principles interact to avoid surpluses and shortages. When considering the principles of supply and demand, one thing we must take into consideration is price. The price of a good or service will largely determine how many people are willing and able to pay for that particular good or service. If a pound of wheat flour costs $20, we could say that 50 people would be willing and able to buy flour at that price, given their respective incomes. However, due to a poor wheat crop, let's say the price of wheat flour soars to $100. Many customers who are willing and able to pay $20 for wheat flour are not going to be able to pay $100, or even if they are able to pay $100, many would decide to replace their wheat flour with cheaper alternatives, such as corn flour. People are always going to act in their own best interest. This is one reason why incentives matter. So when the price of a good increases, the quantity demanded by consumers will decrease. This is called the law of demand. These basic principles of price and quantity demanded can easily be graphed. This is what we call the demand curve. It is a simple reflection of how much of a good or service people are willing to buy at a specific price. Now let's move on to another important principle related to demand: supply. Suppliers of goods and services everywhere are out to make a quick buck. They'll respond to rising prices by supplying more goods and services. Let's use our example of the wheat flour and the corn flour. Let's say that the price of wheat flour is $20 per pound, and the price of corn flour is $30 per pound. As demonstrated before, a bad wheat crop would send wheat prices soaring to an incredible $100 per pound. Farmers that have land suitable for growing either corn or wheat will likely decide to increase their profits by farming wheat instead of corn, which will increase the quantity of wheat supplied. The increase in price was, as seen in this example, directly related to an increase in the quantity supplied. We can also graph supply. Similar to the demand curve, the supply curve shows how much of a good producers are willing to supply at a particular price. There are times in which a good is priced very high, like the wheat in our previous example. The high price means that not very many people are able to buy it, but also means that suppliers are anxious to supply more and more. This leads to a condition called a surplus. A surplus is a situation in which the quantity supplied is greater than the quantity demanded. Competition will push prices down whenever there is a surplus because suppliers will bid the price down through things such as sales. As you can imagine, if a good is priced too low, the incentive for suppliers to supply that particular good is simply not there, even if the demand is high. When the quantity demanded is greater than the quantity supplied, this is called a shortage. However, competition will push prices up whenever there is a shortage because buyers will bid the prices up like an auction until the quantity supplied is equal to the quantity demanded. This means that naturally, the forces of competition will drive the prices towards something we call the equilibrium price. The equilibrium price is the price at which the quantity demanded is equal to the quantity supplied. At the equilibrium price, every pound of wheat flour supplied would be met with an equal demand and the gains from trade would be maximized.